Main idea. The value of arts and humanities cause a life-changing personal development in the field of interpreting pieces of art. The artworks teach a person to view objects differently than one normally would. Most people do not realize how important arts and humanities are in today's society. Many artists begin with an original standpoint on how they view the subject of their art. Subjectivist theories of value determine the majority of the importance of the artwork. Some artists use the relational theory of values, which represents the relationship between what the artist is interested in and what the artist's ethics are. Painting. The Desperate Man by Gustave Courbet. This painting was a popular French painting in 1843. It was an oil-on-canvas self-portrait, 17.7 by 21.2. This painting was also a part of a private collection of Courbet's. The Desperate Man was an extremely close-up painting of a man staring directly at the viewer. He is wide-eyed and has blood risen to the skin in his cheeks. This painting relays intrinsic values because the man seems in a desperate state of mind where pain could occur. Courbet was bored with the way some artists were creating their works. He believed the world should see his paintings as an identical twin of how the world is turning and what is going on daily. He used normative values by expressing what the world around him actually looks like. Painting. Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci. The Mona Lisa was an oil painting on a popular wood panel. It is also the world's most famous painting that was painted between 1503 and 1506. It now hangs in the Louvre Museum in Paris and has continued to hang there since 1797. This painting represents an object of pilgrimage in the 21st century. The mysterious smile and unproven identity of the woman has made the painting a source of ongoing investigation and fascination. It is a visual representation of the idea of happiness suggested by the word Gioconda in Italian. The Mona Lisa is the earliest Italian portrait to focus so closely on the sitter-and-a-half length portrait. Sculpture. The David Sculpture by Michelangelo. The David Sculpture is a Renaissance piece of the early 1500s. The sculpture refers to the Bible story about David and the Goliath. It also stands to be a biblical hero of David. The theology behind this piece of art is very obvious. 5.17 meter marble statue of a male standing nude. The David sculpture was very popular between 1501 and 1504. Donatello also has a sculpture that goes along with the theology of the story about David and the Goliath. David was a favored subject in Florence. Photography. The Steerage by Alfred Stieglitz. This photogravure, a photo that is transferred to a metal plate photograph, was taken in 1907. It is a 33.5 centimeter by 26.4 centimeter. The steerage photograph is located at the J. Paul Getty Museum. It engages the same dialogues around abstraction that preoccupied European avant-garde painters. It has been praised as one of the greatest photographs of all time because it captures in a single image both a formative document of its time and one of the first works of artistic modernism. Many people during this time were ranked as lower class men and women. Stieglitz would rather describe this photo as a study in mathematical lines in balance in a pattern of light and shade. He recognized the human experience in seeing people in steerage the way they were, but he also saw a picture of shapes interacting with one another. He viewed this image in different perspectives. Cinema. This is the cover of The Birth of a Nation by D.W. Griffith. This silent film became popular in 1915. This screenplay is adapted from the novel and play The Klansman. The Birth of a Nation focuses on the relationship between two families in the American Civil War and the Reconstruction era. Value facts are recognized between both families when the occurrences of the world take action. This screenplay is the most influential film in the history of American cinema. This film depicted Ku Klux Klansmen as triumphant heroes. It also tends to relay signals of racism out, but Griffith said he was not racist at this time. The movie shows normative values because it expresses emotion and actions that took place in the world at this time. Humanities and arts should be valued. The question of whether or not humanities and arts should be valued or not has been popped. Humanities and arts have been around for many decades. Artworks elaborate many things about an artist, which gives insight to how things transfer through the artist's mind. They also persuade a viewer to think harder and dig deeper into the information behind the piece of art. Because I engaged into my humanities class, I learned a numerous amount of things that I thought I would never learn. I now see works of art and ask myself questions that make my mind think harder about what the artwork means. Knowledge about humanities continues to provide the ideal foundation for exploring and understanding the human experience.